Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, greetings everyone from wherever you're joining us today. We are the AIDT SIG Special Interest Group, Artificial Intelligence and Digital Technologies with TESOL conferences, previously TESOL Arabia. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for this free professional development opportunities generously provided by our speaker today, Finita. So we have, as we can see today, some of the colleagues that are used to joining us and some newcomers. Welcome, everyone. Please let us know in the chat where you're from and why you're interested in joining us today for the webinar. So to introduce Finita in a nutshell, Finita is a leader in the field and she's joining us from Indonesia. And without further ado, Finita, the floor is all yours. And in the meantime, we'll address the questions towards the end of the webinar. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Finita, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Yusra, and hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Tonight it's 7 p.m. here. I'm from Indonesia, and then let me show you a bit of my place. So I'm from Bandung, an island, West Java Island in Indonesia. If you are from far, far away, so you can see that probably we are 100 or 1,000 kilometers away. I'm thousands of kilometers away from you. So I'm a lecturer at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, or you can also know as Indonesia Education University. So we are one of the university that um, create reservist teachers. Anyway, my topic today we'll be talking about more than a tool, reimagining AI integration through the teacher's lens. So I think I'm going to share some of pedagogical implication of using AI in English language teaching. All right, so um, I need to check my chat. So wherever you are from, can you put on the chat so that I know where you are from? Um, and while I continue explaining what I'm going to talk about tonight. So, today's topic, I'll be talking about the growing presence of AI. Hopefully, that we can uh, be interactive in today's session. Later, I will ask you some questions and you can share your ideas in the chat. And I'm going to talk about why AI literacy matters, especially in our uh, English language classroom, if you are English teacher. And then we are going to talk about the ALT pedagogy and in the age of generative AI and next steps. Let's talk about what we need to prepare as educators. So I will start with this, the growing presence of AI in our daily life. I believe that you've been in touch, you've been engaged in AI. So my first question for you, if AI were a person, how would you describe your relationship? Is it complicated? Do you think that it's toxic, but you stay, or you are a best friend forever? Are you in a love-hate relationship, or you think that AI is your enemy? So can you use your chat and then share what you think about your relationship with AI? So Clement, can thank you. You said that AI, you and AI is complicated. And Gary, you mentioned that you are a best friend of AI. How about the other friends? Thank you. Anyone in a love-hate relationship, or you think that AI is your enemy? It's my mentor. Okay. It's not on the option, but I think I'm gonna add that on my options later. Bestie, okay. Thank you. So everyone got different point of view on your relationship with AI. Mine is in a love-hate relationship because sometimes when I started to get deeply in love with AI, then I have to get stuck with the pro version. For example, I love trying to create video on AI, but then my credit, I ran out of credit, then I cannot continue creating video. Well, okay. Thank you for answering my questions. Let's continue. Another question is, how do you think your interaction with AI? So right now, I mostly use AI for, is it for saving your time? Is it for generating content like worksheets, something like that, or designing assessment or rubrics, or supporting your students' learning, experimenting or exploring? You keep trying new AI all the time, or you don't use AI yet? Which one do you think represent yourself? All of them to a different extent. Thank you. So you've been uh, indulged with AI a lot, almost all of them. Yes. How about the others? Mostly for giving ideas. Sure. AI is a great companion, right, for brainstorming. All right. So how about our students? Sometimes I feel curious about what my students do with AI. So I suspect my students use AI for certain function, right? Do you think that your students use AI to finish your task faster, just to get things done, or to avoid difficult thinking, or try to translate without understanding? For example, in my country, in Indonesia, our first language is Indonesian. So some of the students try to translate their work from Indonesian into English to make things faster, or to practice their language skills, improve their work, or experiment and explore. What do you suspect about the students? Do you think that they are doing the right thing in using AI, or doing the negative thing in using AI? Creating learning materials? Oh, I think you are referring to the previous question, right? Okay, I give you some time to choose. Which one do you think that you suspect your students do with AI? Okay, they mostly use it to do assignment. Thank you, Walid. Write essay, yes. Do you think that they do it appropriately or not? Hmm, cheat on exam. Uh, it happens to many students. The third one, because they're still in elementary level. Hi, Dila. So yeah, they translate without understanding. Find new vocabulary. All right. It's great to see more people coming. All right, let's just move on. So, um, if we look at the evolution, sorry, if we look at the evolution of AI, especially generative AI, because AI has been around long time ago, right? So specifically ChatGPT, I know ChatGPT in the late 2022, and then I think 2024, there was a kind of boom in AI. There are so many different kinds of AI. At the beginning, we know that AI can only write text. Now AI can read, AI can draw, AI can create music, AI can listen and watch video, even but one thing that AI cannot do is AI cannot feel. And then for example, in Indonesia, I don't know, I think also in your country, our government start to feel worried about the use of AI. A lot of people start to get more and more dependent to AI. So we call it, there is a learning loss and cognitive rot, brain rot, and we really need to think about what we cannot do, what we can do in our classroom, because we cannot stop our students from using AI, but what we can do is how we can integrate and adapt the use of AI in a more friendly environment. So this is what I'm talking about. AI can do anything, but at the moment, I don't know in the future, AI cannot fail. So previously, I was thinking of introducing Diffit that we can use for lesson planning and also Brisk teaching. We can also use Brisk teaching for lesson planning and giving feedback to our students' essay, for example. Or we can use Suno to create music. I also work with some elementary school teachers in Indonesia creating songs to introduce some vocabulary to students. And also I use Gencraft a lot in the past to create images. But then actually my what I proposed was like a year ago to this webinar. This is already out of date probably because now, for example, Gemini and ChatGPT can start to create images. So we don't need any extra AI to create images. We can use Gemini to create images. So I try to twist my presentation for tonight, and I'm going to talk about, we are no longer talking about whether we are going to use AI or not in the classroom, but how are we going to use it and for what purposes. So this is what we are going to talk about tonight. As we know that AI in our daily life is not the future anymore. It's our environment. Every click that we did in social media, it becomes a data and it creates the algorithm of our devices. How the algorithm read our preference. So every swipe means prediction to what we like, and every read is a constructed reality. Why do we call constructed reality? Because the feed that we have in our social media, for example, will be much different with the feed that you have in your uh, social media, in your device, in your browser. So we are actually stay in a bulb, right? In a bulb of an algorithm, which we need to be aware of. So why AI matters in your English classroom? We know that one of you mentioned that, students start writing essay using AI. Students cheat on the exam using AI. So AI can do anything. Students can already write with AI. Students can already translate instantly. Students can already generate ideas. So what is left for us to teach? I think what we need to do is to educate, to train our students to be able to think, to be able to communicate better, and to be able to make meaningful interaction with human. So we need to humanize the use of AI in our classroom. So now we are moving to the next section, why AI literacy matters. If you have any questions, comment about my presentation, be my guest, just drop it on the chat box so that I can read it and we can discuss. Now I have a question for you. Another question. I believe that you use AI a lot. In your experience, has AI ever disagreed with you? Or does it always act like your best friend? Some of you mentioned that AI is like your besties. So in your interaction, do you have any experience when your AI disagreed with you? You may write in the chat box. Do you have an experience when AI disagree with you? Say no, AI say, no, you're wrong. Not really, yes, I disagree with it, but a lot, but it never disagree with me. I love the answer. Initially disagreed, but eventually start replying to please me. Exactly, Dr. Bilal. Thank you for responding to this. Yes, exactly. Maybe it slightly disagree, but it tends to please you. Sometimes hallucinate or invent reference that do not exist. Exactly. We really need to check when we work on like writing, essay, journal article. We really need to check the references that AI provide for us. So this is what Punya Misra mentioned about AI. AI is called as the yes bot. Why is it yes bot? Because AI agrees with you even when you're wrong. And accuracy can drop when students give a wrong answer. So in a kind of discussion, if a student or user give wrong answer or direct AI to the wrong answer, and then AI will follow the user, not the truth. So AI will not disagree with you. So then what is the problem here? AI is designed to please, not to correct. So Sarma mentioned that there is a kind of feedback sycophancy when AI rely on users' pride or dissatisfaction. If the user dissatisfied with the answer, AI will follow. Whether it is right or wrong, AI will follow. Answer sycophancy. AI will revise answer even when user express mild doubt. If you feel in doubt, then AI will say, okay, maybe this is the right one. So trying to please you. And AI has a mimicry sycophancy. It will elaborate on incorrect premises. So AI is built to keep you engaged, not to challenge your thinking. Even though I believe that you discuss a lot with your AI, it doesn't really challenge your thinking. You might challenge AI. So what does it mean for our students? There will be a kind of conversational drift. If the student make a small error, and then it will lead to a big misunderstanding. AI will elaborate your mistake with confidence and fluency. It will not correct you. Then what happened? For us, if we are educators, lecturers, we have the knowledge, then we can be a strong person in certain knowledge. Like the students, if they are strong students, then they will get stronger with AI. If they have the knowledge, and then they will move faster with the use of AI. But what happened to the weak students when they don't have the knowledge and they have little knowledge? They will be drifted further away from the reality, from the truth. This is the thing that we really need to pay attention to when letting students use AI in the classroom. So we really need to teach them with AI literacy. In the past, probably before COVID, we are talking about digital skills. So basic digital skills no longer suffice for us. And there is a growing need for AI literacy to facilitate interaction with AI at the interface of language and technology. So no more digital literacy. I mean, it's not enough. What we need is AI literacy. Just like what UNESCO mentioned, that those who are less AI literate will not only miss out on benefit, but maybe disproportionately affected by its negative impact. So they will be get easy to be drifted away, but the misinformation or the bias through uh, through to job automation. So this is will be dangerous for those who doesn't have AI literacy. All right. I'm going to invite you to play with me on playing with prompting. One of the AI literacy is the literacy in prompting. So prompt literacy is the new engineering in creating or in discussing or negotiating with AI. Now, I'm going to invite you to have a mental drawing. Imagine you are drawing a monkey. I give you half minute to think about a monkey in your mind. When you have your monkey in your mind, can you say ready in the chat? Tell me when you're ready. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being ready very fast, Mahmoud. How about the others? Are you ready with your monkey? Thank you, Dr. Bilal and Sumaya. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to show you my monkey. This is my monkey. Do you think that my monkey is similar to yours that you have in your mind? Yes or no? Yes, no way. Yes, no, no. See, actually, I want you to draw a monkey like this in your mind. But what's wrong with me? Why can't I ask you to draw the same monkey? But it's not stationary, not as I thought about. Okay, it's different because I didn't give a good prompt to you. I only say draw a monkey. If I say draw a tiny little monkey eating banana, sitting next to sitting in the forest near a big tree, maybe you're going to have the same monkey with mine. So the problem is my prompt is too weak. If I have a better prompt, then you might have similar monkey in your mind. So that's the idea of prompting. When we do prompting, it involves designing, refining, and also implementing prompt to guide the AI in generating accurate and contextually appropriate responses. If I want an accurate response from you, if I want an appropriate response from you, so I need to have a better prompt. Now let's give our prompt a context. Hopefully you can read this small text. I will read this for you. So Miko the monkey is the smallest and youngest monkey in a very large family. Because of his size, his brother and sister often laugh at him and eat all the food before he can get any, leaving him hungry and unhappy. One day, a terrible storm floods the forest, trapping the monkey family on a small island of trees. After a week of rain, they run out of food and become desperate. Miko's big brother, Uko, tries to jump across the rushing river to reach fruit trees on the other side. But he's too heavy. He falls into the water and swept away, leaving the family terrified and starving. I will stop here and imagine you are an English teacher. Probably, if you are a lecturer, maybe imagine you are an English teacher for junior high school, senior high school, or even elementary schools. And then you want to ask your AI to create or to help you in creating comprehensive questions, vocabulary exercise, grammar tasks, summaries, pictures, speaking activities, or lesson plans. I give you a challenge to write a good prompt to create one of these items. I give you around 1 minute to create or to write your prompt in the chat box. Let's see. How strong is your prompt? Mahmoud, you are usually the fastest in the chat race. Wow, Dr. Bilal, thank you for starting. You are an experienced EFL teacher. Read the attached paragraph and make 10 true-false questions so that the students may read them and express their understanding of reading. Thank you so much. So it's a comprehension questions in the form of true-false. Let's wait for the other. Okay, we have one from Aram. You are an English instructor and your students are junior EFL learners. We have the create a control practice matching 10 definition with vocabulary from the text. Okay, vocabulary exercises matching the definition and the word, and it's for junior EFL learners. So you have the students, you have the level, and you also have the task. Whoa, Mahmoud. No wonder it takes a lot of time for you. You have a long prompt. Act as a professional self-test certified EFL teacher. Wow. Generate questions based on this attached text. Make sure that teach different reading aspects. Here are the tasks to generate. Comprehension question, vocabulary, grammar, and so on. That's a lot. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing to the prompt. I wonder how about asking the prompt from the AI tool by giving all information. Yeah. Or I think now what we can do, we can just screenshot this uh and then put it on AI. AI can read this. So let's move on. This I think everyone agree that Gen AI can become our teaching assistant. It can help us in creating lesson plan, simplify the text, create exercise, dialogue, identify key vocabulary, project idea, feedback, and presentation. I'm going to show you some comparison of weak prompt and strong prompt. But I think judging from your uh, answers, you know strong prompt already. So this example is a weak prompt, just like my prompt when I asked you to create or to draw a monkey, that's a weak prompt. If I say make a writing activity, that's a weak prompt. Let's see the strong prompt. If I say make questions about the story, that's weak. And we need to have a better prompt, like you are an English teacher, most of you mentioned this. Create 5 comprehension questions about the story of Miko, focusing on setting, characters, and main. I will just show you 2 more examples. Uh, like make a vocabulary. Then if you want a good prompt, then you can say create a vocabulary matching exercise using 8 keywords from the story of Miko, include some definition and answer key. So I will just skip this because I think you are all good, but I'm going to move on to this. When we say weak and strong or open and close, sometimes we are talking about good or bad prompt. Well, actually, if we are using a weak prompt or open prompt, we give AI more opportunity to be creative. So if you want AI to be creative, just use a weak prompt or open prompt. But if you want AI to be more accurate, then you need to use a strong prompt. Like you are an English teacher for young learners, you can give the age, and then you create a 45-minute lesson for Miko the Monkey story, include learning objective, pre while post reading activities, one interactive game, and simple instructions suitable for A1 learners. So I also give the context to the learners. If we use this, then the result will be very much accurate, close to what we want. But if you have no idea, you are still brainstorming, then you can use this weak prompt or open prompt. then you will see how creative our AI can be. When I create prompt, I usually have this formula, RCTS, roles, context, task, and source. So this is an example. Most of you have used this, but maybe using RCTS will help you to be more structured in writing your prompt. For example, in roles, you can say you are an English teacher, you are a professional teacher, you are a SALTA certified English teacher. And then for context, you can say my students are A2 learners. I think we need to give the level of our students' proficiency using TFR will be universally understood. And then T, the task, then I can say create 5 comprehension questions with the answer key. And then the source, then we can say what the text is about. So that's about prompting. I will move on faster because I think that prompting is not a problem for you. So now I will move on to ELT pedagogy in the age of AI. So what we can do in our English classroom with the existence of AI. In my country, Indonesia, the government start to feel worried about students using AI a lot. So the government start to make a kind of regulation on limiting in the classroom. I don't know, in your country, is it the same thing happened to you, to your country, that the government start to feel that uh, they need to start making a kind of regulation on the use of AI in the classroom? So I found this framework very useful for me in my classroom, and I have worked with some teachers in Indonesia to implement this in their classroom. So I think initially we have this UNESCO AI competency framework for teachers and also for students. Here there is a definition on what teachers should know and do in relation to AI, focusing on competency and also conceptual, functional, and ethical side. Then what we need to think about is how we bring it into the classroom, English classroom, because in English classroom, it's not only about AI literacy, but how we manage the classroom to scaffold the students in using AI at the same time learning language. So here we start with operational and then contextual and then critical use of AI and finally the creative use of AI. Let me invite you to dig deeper on this. I will skip this one. So the first one is operational. This is from Tour et al. In 2026 in one of their journal article talking about the framework of AI literacy in language classroom. So we start with in operational. We try to teach our students to know how AI tools work and using them effectively. What we can see here is this domain includes the conceptual and also functional capabilities. So we look at how students know the conceptual capabilities of AI, their knowledge and of the basic concept and the process behind AI, especially in prompting. So the one that I demonstrated previously is related to this operational. And then also functional capability like mechanics or both language of both language and technology. I mean, maybe some of the students doesn't know how to use certain AI tools, or they are not familiar with certain AI tools. Then we can introduce them with the tools, the AI tools that they are going to use, and how to give prompt to the AI. And then moving on to contextual. In contextual, we invite the students to choose or adapt AI use for specific class, level, or purposes. In this domain concerned with the impact of context on meaning making. So if in operational, we are not talking about the context, we are not talking about how certain prompt will work in certain contexts. But in contextual, we start to think about the environment, the people around it, and understand the purpose, crafting the content, specific queries, and also assessing AI response. I'm going to give you an example of this later. And then critical. If here we invite students to evaluate AI output and checking bias and fairness. Please wait. I think my battery is low. I need to change this. You okay. So in this critical domain, the concern is building the critical disposition coupled with an ethical disposition, which includes critically integrating, and evaluating the use of output of Gen AI, identify possible bias or hallucination, and also reconstructing prompt. So here students start to evaluate the output generated by AI and start to construct and reconstruct. Sometimes we jump into this part without thinking about letting the students know the operational and the contextual domain of AI. We jump into the critical part. And the last one is creative. So here, the students start to co-create new ideas or tasks with AI. For example, you ask your students to write an essay, to write pointers for their presentation, or to generate pictures. This is where the task will be. So this domain concerns the building of a creative disposition, which includes develop the agency not only to be consumers of AI generated content, but to be producer who innovate and create with AI. So they don't just consume, they produce, but they co-design, co-create the things with AI. It also encourages collaboration to produce new content. I will move on to give you some examples of the use of AI using the 4 domain. For example, here I'm using one example of writing a job application cover letter. So imagine you are teaching the students how to write a cover letter for job application. In the past, I might explain the structure of the job application, and then maybe ask them to have to create a gap filling activities, and then create their own job application. But let's see how it will differ with the existence of AI. So probably at the operational stage, remember operational stage, we are trying to introduce the students with the AI itself. We ask students to explore and analyze prompt for generating cover letter. So they learn how to write the prompt first. For example, write my cover letter for a job application as write the position, at, and then write the company, and including the following strength. So they need to write their strength. We can also give another model of prompting, like draft a cover letter explaining why my skills, and then list the skills, make a good candidate for the roles of write the position and the company. And another example. So at this operational level, what they learn is not writing the cover letter per se, but writing the prompt, the right prompt, a strong prompt that can help them generate a good
cover letter. Maybe you start to think, so students won't be able to write their own cover letter if we just ask them to write the prompt. Just wait and see until the end of the lesson. Okay, next, moving on to contextual. In contextual, we provide learners with a real job advertisement reflecting their interests. So we can find some job advertisement reflecting their interests, and then ask learners to work in a small group and create a prompt for a cover letter. So at the beginning, at the operational, there is no context. They just write the prompt. In the second stage, we give them the context and they need to write the prompt based on the context. And then ask group to generate letter for this job using their prompt. So they work in group, put their prompt, and then generate the letter. And then moving on to the critical part of the use of AI. We can ask the students to compare and critique letters generated by AI. Maybe different group will create different kinds of letter. So they need to pay particular attention to any hallucination or factual errors generated by AI. And then after that, ask students to choose the best 3 letters and justify their choices. So here, we teach our students to be critical and aware that anything generated by AI might not be true, might be hallucinating, need evaluation from us as the user. So we need to evaluate the quality of AI generated content. And finally, in the creative side, creative domain, we provide learners with a fantasy job application and then ask them to consider the content of this scenario and collaborate with AI to create cover letters that stands out. So actually, something has shifted. In the past, we ask our students to start writing from scratch. But now, with the existence of AI, actually, students can jump into this creative part, right? Students can go to AI and ask AI to create a cover letter for them. But if we didn't let them go through the operational stage in which they learn how to write their prompt, the contextual stage in which they need to adjust their prompt into the context, and especially the critical stage in which they need to evaluate the content, if we just jump here, then the students will be easily drifted by AI. Just like our discussion previously when we talk about how AI as a yes bot might drift the students, the weak students, away from the truth. Other possible activities is like role-playing, act as an employer and evaluate the cover letter, or translate the cover letter to L1, or we are making a kind of cover letter competition. So these are some extended version of this activity. So let me review again the 4 dimensions of AI literacy framework for our classroom. We start with operational, in which the students know how AI tool works and using them effectively. Moving on to contextual, where we choose or adapt AI use for a specific class, level, or purpose. And then moving on to the critical part of the use of AI, in which we evaluate the output and checking bias and fairness. And finally, we go to creative domain of the lesson, in which we co-create new ideas or tasks with AI. So if in your class or when you use AI, you jump into this without letting the students go through the other steps, maybe they miss some of the critical part of the lesson. So here is another example. For example, we have a reading text like this about Great Britain, great journey. With this text, then we might be able to, let me jump to this. We might be able to ask the students to write the prompt about the journey, and then in the contextual, they need to adjust their prompt to the context. For example, a group of international students, and then ask learners to create the prompt. And then after that, we move on to the critical part. We ask the students to compare AI generated recommendation, and then they need to look at which is more convincing, which has better reason, and what is missing from one of the AI generated recommendation. Then at the end, we can ask the students to create their own travel recommendation. Just some ideas that you might apply in a classroom if you're a teacher, or you might share to your pre-service teachers, or you might also do research related to this and how students respond to this kind of strategy and how it builds the students' AI literacy. Let's see if I still have time. Okay. Do I have 5 minutes or so? No,
Yeah,
we will move on to
that time. Yes. You still have time, Finita. So,
Okay.
yes, please.
Okay, so I will continue with working with images. We know that AI now has a lot of feature that can create many different kind of images. Sometimes I play around with different AI with the same prompt, and then I can generate different images. For example, like this, what we need to teach to our students is their ability to evaluate the quality of image. If I mention draw my city, Bandung, and then AI will draw a very nice looking city like this. It looks very cool and clean and a nice place to live. But what I experience every day is like this: traffic jam, very crowded city with a lot of pollution. So AI might not be able to depict the real situation of the picture that they generate. This can be a good way of critically discuss the picture or images generated by AI. So if we get this and the reality is this, then we can create a lot of discussion out of this. So another example of using Gen AI when we work with picture is another example. For example, here in this lesson, the learning aim is to develop the capacity to use AI image generator effectively for generating images from textual prompt to accurately represent profession. So we are talking about profession. I have language aim here to develop language to write prompt for images, including descriptive language, and then to develop language to evaluate and critique images. But then I also have technology aim to successfully engage with generative AI technology for image generation. And then if you remember the fourth dimension, at the operational stage, we have a step-by-step guide to use AI image generator. We can ask students to generate an image of scientist, doctor, teacher, using prompt in English and in their home language. For example, like this. So this is a prompt of an engineer, a prompt of a teacher, and this is a teacher, this is also a teacher, and this is a nurse. Then we can compare. Do you think that picture generated by AI is similar to what they have in their mind? That's in operational. In contextual, yeah, we compare and analyze the image generated in L1 versus in English, and then compare different mode of images, art, drawing, and real, and how it looks like. They can give an appraisal of the kind of images generated from AI. And then in a critical domain, we can discuss what is similar or different between AI generated in L1 and English. And then ask them, what do you notice about gender, age, race, appearance, clothing background? So we are talking about global awareness for the students. And we can also ask, do AI images accurately show this profession? Why or why not? If you look at this, we can talk about why do you think that these AI generated images accurately depict the right profession. So they can start looking at the images, then they have a kind of multimodal literacy, looking at how this picture make meaning to them. And then in creative part, we can ask them to work in group, brainstorm the prompt to generate more balanced representation of age, gender, race, and appearance. And then we can also ask them to use AI to generate images that challenge traditional stereotypes. For example, some traditional stereotypes in my country is nurse usually female, and an engineer usually male, things like that. So we might be able to try to create something which challenge the traditional stereotype. Other possible activities like evaluation of image and creating imaginary professions. This is the last part of my presentation. We've been talking about how we use AI with certain the 4 dimension of AI literacy. Now this is the last part. We can use AI as pedagogical AI, conversational agent. If in the beginning, we discuss how we create prompt and then write the prompt to AI, and then AI will generate something for us. Here, we are going to ask AI to ask the student questions. So instead of students ask AI questions, it's vice versa. So this is a changing role of AI in ELT. Usually we use AI to generate teaching materials, produce content, or automation. Now we use AI to scaffold learning through conversation, facilitating interaction and collaboration. I'm going to skip this. We are going to use RCTS again, if you still remember, but this time we switch the roles. So this is the roles. I'm going to ask AI to be my writing partner. So AI, you are my English teacher. Your students is grade 7 learners in Indonesia who's still a beginner in English. And this is the task. Have a simple chat in English about interesting place to visit during holiday. Use short, easy sentences and ask questions to keep the conversation going. So here I will ask AI to ask questions one by one to the students. And then use example of famous places in Indonesia like Bali, Borobudur, or Bandung to make the conversation relevant. Let's see what I have here. This is an example of using the prompt in Bahasa Indonesia, in my language. Why do we use our L1? Because my students is still in the 7th grade. So they are like 13 years old. Their English are not really good. So I asked AI to help me write a short text about my pet. And then AI start to ask me questions. Let's see how AI asks me questions. So this is me with my prompt. I ask AI to give me feedback on my writing. So AI start with, here's your first question. What kind of pet do you have? And then I will say, I have a rabbit. And then AI start asking questions. What is your rabbit's name? and I say my rabbit's name is Chocho. AI keep asking me questions. Now it moves to how would you write a sentence that say you have a rabbit and its name is Chocho? And I write, I have a rabbit, its name is Chocho. So AI has become my pedagogical partner. Keep asking me questions and sometimes giving me feedback on my writing. For example, here, how would you describe? How would you describe the texture of Chocho's fur? Because I think that fur is a difficult vocabulary, unfamiliar vocabulary. So AI give the Indonesian word for fur. And then AI give clue. Is it long, short, fluffy? How is Chocho's fur? So I can ask by choosing one of the option. Chocho's fur is short or
Sorry,
fluffy.
Finita. I'm sorry, Finita, to interrupt. We still have 1 or 2 minutes, please. So we'll be
Yes.
glad if you can wrap up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So that's the final part of my suggestions on using AI in the classroom. We can use AI to become the pedagogical partner for our students. So that's one of the example. So I think I will wrap up with this slide. What we can do as an educator, we don't need to know all the AI. There are a lot of AI right now. What we can do is we start small, we stay reflective, and we need to share and keep learning. Just like me, I keep learning on using how to use AI in my classroom with my students. And then, of course, we need to stay ethical and keep human values central. So I have to end my presentation here. And thank you very much, Yusra and everybody. And thank you.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you, Finita. That was an insightful webinar. And as usual, you always surprise us with many tools, and we appreciate your generosity, contribution today, and I'm sure the community as well. So let's check if we have some questions in the chat. I think we've covered most of the questions so far. So just a comment, if you're not part of our community yet, the AIDT WhatsApp group, please join it. Also, dear colleagues, we invite you before we go on, as usual, to turn on your cameras before we go, just for a group photo, all of us. And being around the world, myself included, I'm based in Qatar, Finita in Indonesia. Most of us, everyone is in a different place in the world. Let's have our group photo. It's the weekend. We might not look good, maybe tired, but this energy keeps us going, everyone. So waiting for everyone to turn on their cameras as usual. Thank you so much. Look how lovely these faces were hiding just behind the camera. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Hi, everyone. I can see some familiar friends and faces. Hi to our new friends. All right, so are you ready to just give you a sign? 3, 2, 1. Aram, can you help me? Maybe Plamen, whoever's ready here to help us with the screenshot as usual. Yep. So 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you, everyone. So the form usually should be working. If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to email us, whether at this email, aidt.tsel.com, gmail.com, or the webinar's email itself. I think it's we've tested the form, it accepted. Can you just try to refresh? I'll send you again the link again to the form. Maybe this one. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for this informative session. Finita, I say good evening, maybe good night to you. Thank you. And bye, everyone. And
So much.
see you for our next webinar. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Bye. Adam, Walid, and Plamen, can you say a second, please, with me? Just a second, thank you. Yes, we'll stop the live and we'll stop the recording. Thank you, everyone, for your contribution.
Thank you as well.
I think the recording was paused. Still recording? No, I
Yes,
think
we're recording here.